Hi, I'm Richard Goyder, CEO of Wesfarmers, and I'm going back to school with Student Edge.
Tell me, what were you like as a student?
Oh, okay. Not great. I did enough to get me where I needed to go.
Just doing enough? The okay amount was working out for you?
A bit more.
A bit more than that.
Maybe not as much as I could have.
Sure.
And you know, I loved my football, and
right.
I wasn't that good at it, but I loved my football and a few other things. So I was kept busy, and I did enough.
Well, what were the subjects that you felt like, oh, I actually enjoy this, I actually enjoy sort of putting the effort in?
Yeah, and I was at school. The bright kids were meant to do the maths and sciences, and I didn't really like them. I liked the social, the human things. So I enjoyed English, but I wish I could have done more modern history that my kids have done now. And I probably should have done economics, which I didn't do. A few things like that,
right?
Which are far more interesting to me now than chemistry and physics and maths that I sort of was made to do.
Well, I understand you grew up on a farm,
yeah.
But early on you felt like this isn't actually what I want to keep doing. I mean, things obviously change over time, but back then, what was the feeling? What was the sort of sentiment that kept you away from wanting to stay on the farm?
Well, my parents, and particularly Dad, was the best farmer in the world, as a young person. And then I saw the challenges that Mum and Dad had through lack of rain, through poor commodity prices. And our farm, as it turns out, was really never big enough for one of 4 children. So Mum and Dad really struggled financially. And I thought it was unfair that the best farmer in the world could struggle because of things outside his control. So I thought I'd try and take a bit more control with my life and do something else.
What was your kind of career goal at that time? Did you have one?
Well, yeah, I did. My career goal then was probably to be Prime Minister because I was
so modest,
ridiculously ambitious. And thank goodness that didn't happen. Thank goodness for the country, firstly, and secondly for me. But so I guess I was always ambitious to do things. I just didn't know what it was.
So when did you kind of move away from?
Yeah, I went to boarding school at the age of 14, so
okay.
Second year high school.
Sure.
But growing up on a farm is wonderful because there's space. You are confronted with life and death, and there's animal husbandry. There's producing things. So I was blessed to grow up on a farm, and I think also it makes you more resilient. We had I'm my age now, but in 1969 we had a terrible drought, and I still remember that well. So I think it makes you more resilient, and it made me a bit more probably self-reliant, and I've always been okay with my own company, and I've always been okay with sort of just putting my head down and getting on with things.
You said you weren't maybe as interested in, say, commerce as you could have been during high school, but you ended up studying that at UWA, is that correct?
Yeah, so I actually thought that I might want to do law, but in the days when I was at university, you had to do another course in the first year, and then if you got decent marks, you could go into law. And so I kicked off with commerce in many ways because I thought it was going to be a good degree in terms of getting a job after university. And I probably didn't get the marks required to get into law, but decided I didn't want to do law anyway. And so yeah, I enjoyed my commerce degree.
Did that ever stifle your ambition? I mean, you said you were very ambitious, but when you were getting the marks that weren't sort of pointing you in the direction of law, did you kind of have to reassess? Was there a moment where you felt, okay, what am I doing?
Not really. I've never been short on self-confidence. Hopefully, I'm not arrogant about that. But I've got an inner confidence that I can do some things. And between high school and university, I took a year off and was a Rotary Exchange student in the United States, and that probably did direct me more into a business in the US capitalist society, all those sort of things, some big contrasts, and that was probably fairly significant for me as well. So it became clearer and clearer to me that through my time at university that I would go into some sort of business.
Now, there's a big focus at the moment about STEM subjects and how they're important for students for future careers because, you know, the fields of science and technology and mathematics, it's essential going forward. You've referred to the need for food with the growing populations as an unstoppable trend, as this thing that also needs to be addressed and has a big future. Do you think there is enough focus on agriculture and farming as a career option or even in the sort of educational path?
Firstly, on STEM, I am a bit critical of high school education across Australia in that I think we too easily, and there's a reason for this, I think we too easily divert people away from hard subjects. So schools who want to look well on their report cards, and parents and students all say, you know what, I'll take the easier path because I'm going to get a better university entrance or whatever score. And I think that's wrong. I actually think universities should be saying, you know what, if you do hard maths or if you do a language or if you do this or that, we will make it much easier for you to come into universities. Because we're just dumbing it down. And you know, we've got really smart kids and we should be pushing them in high school, not trying to optimise some sort of false measure, which frankly matters for about 2 weeks and then doesn't matter after that anyway. So, but again, the other question of food, it's a big deal because you just look at where Australia is, look at where we're situated. We've got probably the growth economies of the next century on our doorstep and a middle class that's going to grow and grow and grow. They're going to want good food products. They're going to want products that they can trust, and we're in a great position to be a supplier, but it's not going to come to us. It's not going to be given to us. We're going to have to work hard.
Looking back on your teenage days and your years in school, do you have any regrets about how you kind of approached it?
I probably should have worked a bit harder at university because I ended up failing one subject, economics and social statistics, which had in my own defence, had about a 70% failure rate.
Sure.
It's a horrible subject. They ended up giving me a conceded pass second time round. I think they just wanted to get rid of me. I probably there's probably a couple of things I could have worked harder on, but no, I don't have a lot of regrets. I met my great friends. I met my wife, and in the environment I grew up in, I think I had a life really fulfilling time because I was engaged in sport. I was engaged in social activities. University. It was a great time, and I would go back to the farm and work pretty hard during holidays. So I'd go back and do harvesting and sheep work and all those sort of things. So I didn't have a lot in the way of holiday.
Maybe that's a regret then. More holidays would have been nice.
Well, it would have been nice. I wish I'd had some of the time at Rottnest that
sure.
Some of my friends now talk about. They talk about levers, and I've got one going off to levers this year at Rottnest. And I went straight home and jumped on a tractor and drove a header around.
People probably would pay for that experience
these
days anyway.
These days, that's right.
Just to wrap up, do you have one piece of advice?
Do the things you're interested in. Do the things you've got a passion about. Listen to others, but listen to parents, listen to schools, listen to people like you, but make your own calls. Someone born today in Australia has got an average life expectancy of 90 plus. That says to me that young people today are going to be working for a long time, and so whatever they choose to do, they need to do something they're really going to enjoy, and like me, get out of bed in the morning and say, you know what, I'm really looking forward to going to work, and work is fun rather than work's a chore.
Richard, thanks so much for your time.
Pleasure. Thanks, Simon.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that video, click here to subscribe to our YouTube channel, or find more of our stuff at studentedge.com.au.